Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's I've just been printing shirts all day, so I'm. You can't smell me through the podcast or the video, so
I can smell you. I can smell you right here.
my apologies.
It's okay. It's all right. You're working hard. It's okay.
It's a little warm here in Florida, but it's okay. We'll do that, and then
Speaking of warm in Florida, we went to Disney and to Universal last weekend.
we did, but it wasn't that hot when we were there.
So this is what I want to talk about. It was not humid. Like it felt like there was breeze. Okay. In retrospect, okay, it was humid. It's always humid.
Well,
in terms of like how it usually is or how it could be. Oh, it wasn't nearly as bad.
No, it wasn't bad. I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, it was obviously warm, but I don't know what it is. I don't remember it happening sooner before, but like I am completely emotionally, spiritually, and physically ready for fall. I don't know what it is. I'm like, you told me today, which I don't normally like these things, but like the pumpkin cream cold brews are coming back to Starbucks. I'm like, it's time to get colder now. Come on.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this on Thursday, they're in Starbucks. Pumpkin, apple, the fall menu is back.
That's the only thing I like from Starbucks. Although I might get it every once in a while, but it's also like $9 for one nowadays. It's like
but like also too, like it feels too early. I know Disney does their Halloween stuff, which we're gonna talk about the Halloween party today. But I know they start their Halloween stuff really early, but so does Starbucks. So it's like we need to take as much advantage as we can of the fall, quote unquote season. And that's what we're doing. But yeah, I like the fall drinks.
I mean, not that I want to put regulations on things.
Don't regulate.
But I feel like all of this stuff should wait till September.
No, that's not. What fun is that? No.
Well, I did. I went to Costco and I got, because they had it was it was like a lantern, but it was like a haunted lantern type thing. And they had one was like Mickey, Goofy, Donald, whatever. It was like $30 some, so I got it.
He surprised me.
I did.
He brought it home and he was like, I got you something. I was like, what? And he's like, he got it from Costco. I was like, oh, it's going to be good.
And then our kids just love it the whole time. So,
it plays spooky music.
But yeah, so we're not just going to talk about Halloween stuff, although it's always fun. We do have.
We're going to talk about some Halloween stuff.
We are. I said not all, but some. We are going to talk about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And also, we tried out the Lightning Lane multi-pass when we were at Disney, so we're going to talk about that. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Yep.
So, but before we get to any of that, I just want to remind everybody, if you're watching us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not, if you'd rather watch the show or see clips of the show, you can do that over there on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on good old trusty, old-fashioned podcast, just how it was intended, we greatly appreciate that. Whatever platform you listen on, whether it's Apple, Spotify, or one of the 5,000 ones that are out there, we just ask you, please subscribe and leave us a review. We'd greatly appreciate that. And if you want even more content, if you want to contribute to the show, if you'd like to interact with us and some cool people, then you should look at joining Club 32, and that's our private group where we have additional content. We have live streams in there. We have the weekly live stream, the Club 32 show every Tuesday. We have the upcoming Clubhouse show, which will be a live stream as well. We have live streams from the park when sometimes we have room tours. We have a private podcast feed. We also have Cool Kids Kitchen that we do a monthly live stream where we make a dish based from theme parks. You have 25% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products. I think a private Facebook, private music feed, all sorts of things. So again, you can check it out there. You can go to ctmvip.com. We have monthly or yearly options, and you can even do a free trial if you want to try that out. Or if you do yearly, you get a free t-shirt. So either way, you get something for free. But again, if you want to check it out there, it's ctmvip.com. And if you'd like to join, we'd love to have you. So, all right. Well, like we'd mentioned at D23, there were a lot of announcements about things coming. Some of the stuff left us with some questions, where these things were going to go. And then following on Monday, Disney dropped the other end of that, I guess you could say the other end of that hammer of like where this stuff's going. And, it's interesting. So do you want to talk about what they said? And we'll get into like how they said it, but yeah, just what they said.
Sure. So basically, this is what Disney put out on Disney Parks blog on, I think it was Monday morning. Was it Monday morning?
Yes.
Okay.
They released it Monday morning.
Okay. So they said, and this is a quote, "It's time to leave Radiator Springs and head west into exciting new locations. To make way for this completely new frontier, the rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island will be transformed into vast and rugged terrains for a rally race with some of the world's most iconic racers." and they talk about the rides and everything. And then it goes, the new area will bring you along for the ride with a brand new thrilling rally race through the mountains, climbing trails, and dodging geysers, in addition to a second attraction geared towards fun for the whole family. So ahead of work, revving into high gear next year, guests will have plenty of time to experience the charm and nostalgia of Frontierland as it is today. And they go on to talk a little bit more about the Villain's Land. So basically, they gave us some concept art, which confused me because I wasn't sure what I was looking at. Jared tells me that it's actually Disneyland Paris.
So in the concept art they showed for this, the current Frontierland facade that you see is actually Disneyland Paris's, which I don't know why, but it is. But it looks similar to ours. But if you look at the concept art, the Frontierland, or at least the front buildings there, are on that left side, and everything to the right is all the rivers of America and everything like that.
Yeah, so we can see the two attractions in this piece of this area, and we're not even going to focus on that. We're going to focus on the fact that they are getting rid of the rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. We have some thoughts.
Well, I think there's a reason they didn't announce it's a D23. Is because they knew this was not going to go over very well. Now, to the level in which it hasn't gone over well, I have heard rumblings that they were a little bit taken aback as to the reaction to this, which I don't know why, but that's some things that I have heard. So right off the bat, I think that was very underhanded to just like not have the fortitude, I'll just say, to go out on stage and say where this is going to go and what it's replacing. Now, the reason, I know people are going to see the arguments of it's a place that doesn't have, the riverboat and Tom Sawyer Island. They don't draw big crowds. And yes, I will agree. And really, my issue is not with Tom Sawyer Island. It is an underutilized spot. I think there's something you could do with that to make it easier to get over there. You could use your imagination, but it's like, okay, I understand that. But the Rivers of America and more or less Frontier has such a direct tie to Walt. And I've talked about this before, and it's been my opinion on this show that Disney eventually is going to get rid of Frontierland, and I think this is yet another step in them basically doing that to the point where it's basically just Frontierland in name only is what I really think they're going toward. But, that aside from Walt, I mean, again, direct ties to Walt, it's something he loved. Like, I hate seeing aspects of the parks that really, like, he has such a direct influence on go away. But it's also the fact, too, that Rivers of America provides a great deal of ambiance in that area and sets the whole tone for Haunted Mansion, Liberty Square, all of it, like Big Thunder Mountain. Like, there's some beautiful views there. And there's nothing wrong as well, I think, in theme parks. You need quiet spots. You need places that, like, build atmosphere.
Can I comment on that? Okay. I will say, like, there's so much overstimulation when it comes to being in a theme park, especially at, like, Magic Kingdom. Lots of sounds, lots of things to see. Some things are very close together, and it's just a lot. When you come in, like, you go through Liberty Square, you're coming from Fantasyland, it's almost like, at least this is just for me, but like a sense of more like calmingness whenever you see water, when you see like a vast open space that Rivers of America provides. You can see Big Thunder in the distance. It's great. I think putting Cars Land in this spot, replacing Tom Sawyer Island and like, basically draining the water and just digging it up and having the Cars attractions right there, is going to maybe take away, maybe not all of it, but take away part of that serenity, at least for me.
Oh, I completely agree. I think the sound of cars and you're going to have cartoon-eyed cars running around this area and just shoehorning in as well, like the Cars IP that as if it fits in Frontierland. Like, it doesn't. But again, that's the least of the issues here of shoehorning that in there. But I definitely think I do think it's a mistake because I think it's something that, again, that like you were saying, the ambiance there, it sets the tone for the whole area, and you take that out, and this is where I say there's the difference between theme parks and amusement parks. Theme parks are supposed to, pull you along, tell a story. You're supposed to whisk you away to a world in which not your everyday life. And this one being, the Frontier and the Liberty Square area, it's supposed to whisk you away to a different time. Yeah, you can jam more things in here that have more things for people to do, but then you're just talking about utilizing every square inch for more capacity, and you're running into more of an amusement park feeling, in my opinion. And really, now I understand the arguments as well. There are issues with the waterways, and I think I have heard they would have to go in there and fix a lot of those. They may not want to put the money towards something that they view as a very dated thing. I get that argument. I suppose that's their best faith argument. I do think part of the Disney company, at least some people inside of it, don't like the idea of Frontierland and would like it to go away. I do think that has been an ongoing,
I don't think that's disputed. I think that's pretty much
much known. And also, as well, I just want to put it out there, the rumor is Liberty Square is on the chopping block as well.
Yes, it is.
So this whole area going away, you're just losing a very Americana, Walt-based thing. And I know there's arguments as to like, well, yeah, it's not popular in this and that. But at the same time, they have the space if they want to. I don't think it's a matter of they have to. I think it's a matter of they just don't want to expand out. I don't think anybody would have much of a problem putting Cars Land back behind Big Thunder. I just think putting it right here, and not only putting it right there, but like what it's replacing. It's just again, it's not even Radiator Springs. It's just this version of a Cars Land that's, I don't know. The whole thing just seems weird. Maybe enough backlash has been there where they'll keep the Rivers of America. I don't think they're going to go away. I think this is going in here no matter what. But I think if you could keep the Rivers of America, that would be a small win where you could be like, okay, at least part of it's still there. But all in all, I don't like where they're putting it. It's just, I don't know. That just seems so wild to me to get rid of that whole area for just this, like, an IP based land right there. But
I mean, we kind of talked about it already like 2 weeks ago, I think, when we were talking about the announcements. And I won't go into, again, my feelings about what we're getting versus what we're losing. I'm just kind of focusing on how it's going to feel and look different. Now, again, we know that Disney World, Disneyland is not a museum. We understand this. We understand the whole thing. It's just very strange to, I don't know, take this area that, again, offers a little bit of like quiet and a little bit of, I guess, sightlines. Mm-hmm. Again, sightlines where you can see like all the way down Frontierland. You can see, Tiana's, you can see Big Thunder. And then that's going to become something different. And again, we don't know what this is actually going to look like. This concept art is very rough. As in, like, it's almost like a rough draft.
I also wouldn't take much, I wouldn't look into Disney's concept art too much because they tend to change things drastically. But
This is true. So, I mean, we just wanted to comment on the fact that, this is happening. It's not a rumor. This is happening. I think Rivers of America, I think the boat and everything, the riverboat, went under refurbishment for like 2 days, and then that's going to reopen on the 23rd.
Yeah, that was a plan.
That was already planned. Yeah. But the thinking is that's going to be the last refurbishment that it goes through.
I will just say the construction in this area is going to be a big issue in this park because that is going to take up a massive amount of space there. Yep. And turn Magic and basically we haven't seen the likes of that type of construction in Magic Kingdom that would be on this scale as long as I can remember.
Magic Kingdom, Fantasyland.
That was a little bit before when I started going. That was right whenever.
For you.
I mean, it was right around the time I think we started going there, but I don't remember a lot about that.
Yeah, it opened shortly after we went for the first time together.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty big project, and that lasted for a while. So we just wanted to comment on it and give a little preliminary feelings about it. But again, we don't know exactly what it'll look like. It's going to change, over the years,
or when it's going to even be done.
When it's going to be done, we don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of unknowns right now, but so that's. And we got that information, so there you go.
But that's the hammer they dropped, so I felt, a little bit...
wanted to mention that.
Yeah, so at least we discussed it. We will see if there's any updates there, or if they start breaking ground, we will talk about it and document it there. But
okay, sounds good.
All right, let's move on to our next topic here, which we have the EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival starts in about a week, and Disney has finally released the menus that we can check out.
Yeah, it starts on the 29th this year, which is a Thursday, which is interesting because it usually starts on a Friday, which I guess doesn't matter. But anyway, it's so they released the menus, and we don't have I guess there are a lot of new dishes, but the amount of excitement for this festival and the food items is, I want to say it's a little bit lower than years past. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the variety of what they're offering. I don't know. I don't know.
I felt like that's obviously not a scientific.
It's not a scientific, not at all. That's
like you can't really measure that. But I feel like the same.
Very anecdotal.
Yeah, I feel like the same way was last year though. I felt like there's not as much excitement going into it. But maybe it's because there's festivals all the time now. It used to be Food and Wine was like one of the only festivals they ever did.
And this is my least favorite festival. So take that with what you will.
Take that with what
I don't know.
will.
I don't know how to say it.
I will take that with me.
I just need to keep saying what I'm saying. Okay. So we've got some new food booths or marketplaces that we're going to talk about. The first one is the Macketizers. That's the mac and cheese booth, and that's going to be at the Communicore Hall, dorm cafeteria. Just
the community community college dining hall.
Hall. Yeah. It's going to be Communicore Hall, and they basically have nothing is new at this location. It's all stuff that we've had in the past that was at the mac and cheese booth, basically. But we've got the traditional mac and cheese, cheesesteak mac and cheese, truffle mac and cheese, and impossible mac and cheese, and a lot of drinks to choose from. So
that all sounds great except for the impossible one. That one I'll punt that one over a bridge. But the other ones.
Yeah. That's interesting. They sound really good. Another one is the festival favorites one, and so that's been there since it opened, since the Communicore Plaza area opened. Mm-hmm. When did it open again?
The Plaza?
June. It was like June 10th or something.
Around there.
So they've had the festival favorites menu, and it's been a collection of like arepas and stuff. And we did try some of that, and it was pretty good. But I believe they're just going to have menu items. I don't know if it's going to rotate or anything. It looks like it's just one menu for the whole festival. But they're going to have some favorites like a kielbasa, pork rinds, key lime tart from different, food booths around, and some drinks and some treats and everything. So that's that. Then there's a couple of new ones, which I think they were taking from other booths. So there's a one called Bramble Bites. Is that Bramblewood Bites?
Bramblewood.
Which I don't know what Bramblewood means. Do you know what Bramblewood means? Bramblewood.
I can't say that I do.
But yeah, so we've got that one that's new this year. And it is going to be located on the Imagination Walkway over there, along with the other two ones that are new as well.
So Bramblewood
Bites
is a thick forest surrounding the northern, western, and southern sides of West Run.
There it is. Okay, so it's between World Showcase and Imagination Pavilion on that walkway. And again, nothing says they're new, but there's going to be pork tenderloin, there's going to be bison, there's going to be Brussels sprouts and root vegetable dish. Then we've got a spiced apple old-fashioned inspired cocktail with Boyd and Blair rum, which is new, and I actually might try this because it's got apple on it.
It sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, and another one is new is Milled and Mold, and that's, again, the same area that it's going to be located. A couple new things. We've got a Boursin fig and balsamic cheesecake with fig jam and pomegranate. I don't know. Does that sound
I don't know
good
what
to
milled
you?
and mold is supposed to even imply.
Mold. I don't know, like breads and stuff.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Pear and almond. I can't say this word. Is it frangipane? Frangipane?
I think it's frangipane.
Frangipane. I don't know. Pâté brisé. That's new. And then they've got some hard ciders and some red wine dishes that are new as well. And the last one is a forest and field. That's easy. Forest and field. I can say that. Okay, so they've got a pumpkin mascarpone ravioli, which sounds okay. A burrata. They got
pumpkin ravioli. That just sounds odd.
Pumpkin ravioli. Sage brown butter, pecorino cheese, and hazelnut praline. Oh, I'm out. Sorry.
You missed the autumn chili.
I can't have hazelnut. Oh, no, I was going to go back to that one. Okay. So they do have a dish called autumn chili with bison, lamb, pork belly, root vegetables, jalapeno cornbread, smoked cheddar, and creme fraiche. And that is new.
That does sound pretty good.
And I will be having this, but not until November. That's too hot. That's too hot to eat in October or September or August. It just is. Okay.
I'll have it before then.
I just can't do autumn chili. I can't do with autumn chili.
I've never even heard of autumn chili.
Well, that's not a chili.
Like chili is
bison, lamb, and pork.
But chili is just a odd. I feel like that's an autumn dish. Is chili.
Yeah.
So kind of autumn chili is the most redundant.
You know what, Jared? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's just what they named it. Yeah. And they have some drinks as well. But a lot of our turning favorites. Oh, the menu for America is completely new. Flavors of America.
Yeah.
It's all hot dogs.
I don't understand that.
What?
Like, it's somebody that it's like not an American decided that it's America only wants hot dogs.
Not an American.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah, so that was a little interesting. France has got some items, but so we were talking about how we're gonna do the festival this year because, I mean, everybody and their mom goes to the festival and they're like, try all the foods and like places like Disney Food Blog and WDW News Today. They all do like everything. All right. Well, we're just gonna have a different take where we're gonna try all of the foods that are like a different, like, I guess, food group or type of food. So we're probably going to try all of the foods that have seafood in them or all the foods that have chicken in them. So if like you're interested in, I really feel like chicken. Well, we got you covered. It's over here. We're going to try it.
This is called niching down.
We're niching down.
Yeah.
We're niching down because there's just too much to try and, only so much time. So we're going to try, we're going to try this. We're going to try going in, niching it down, chicken or seafood or beef or, some kind of, dessert, like bananas dessert or.
Okay, you've expanded now where we're trying everything on the menu.
No.
We niched down and now we're niched
No,
out.
I said or. Not all of these.
Okay.
I
You started adding more food groups.
I said or, like seafood or chicken or beef or dessert. So we just haven't decided what we're doing yet, is all I was saying. So,
yes.
Yeah. So that's probably what we're going to do.
That will probably be our attack plan, that is for sure.
But we are not going until, it's like September 6th or something. We won't be there opening day. So we'll just be catching it the week after.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that. I mean, opening day, I feel like anymore I avoid those on new things.
Especially in the summer.
Just go the day after. It's much less busy.
It's too hot too.
Or soon, but yeah.
I just can't do it in August. Anyway.
But yeah.
So that's what we're doing. So.
Yeah, if you want to check out the menus, those will be in the show notes. You can obviously check them out on the interwebs. They are out there with pictures of the food and all that stuff like that. So yeah, some of it looks really good. Some of it is. I'm disappointed in the America Pavilion. Just hot dogs.
I know.
I don't understand that. Are there even bratwurst? There probably isn't. That would be like a German thing.
It just said hot dogs. It didn't say bratwurst. I know.
Not even hamburgers?
Also, we lost Ireland.
Yeah.
The Ireland booth is gone. People were mad about that.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised. I didn't when they're Kenya.
Kenya, we also lost.
Yeah.
Which is consistent. So, I don't know.
I feel like maybe they're pairing things. If you look at the menus, too, they don't have that much stuff now. It's much more simple. I think they're paring things down a bit.
Well, that's something we talked about for Flower and Garden. There were a lot of booths that had like three food items before, now only have 2.
Yeah.
Or had 4 and only have 3.
Which
so they're just cutting down on that.
I do wonder if maybe, there's just not enough demand there for all of these different things and all these different, like, especially like all the booths and then all of the different types of things. Like, you just pare it down and make it more simple. Like, it's probably easy. It's probably easier to prepare that way as well.
Oh, for sure. It's a simplicity thing. I don't think it's demand. I think it's simplicity for sure. It's just easier to do it that way.
Well, I think what I was meaning, if they were expecting giant crowds, they might have more booths. But I'm guessing, again, they've talked about many times, crowds are looking lighter going into 2025, so they may not be expecting the crowds that they've had previous years.
I don't know, maybe.
Could be part of it, but
could be.
All right, next bit of news we have is Peter Pan's flight has reopened and has some changes, as were basically presumed would happen, to the Tiger Lily scene.
Yeah, so this is what it's quoted as being now. It says, a serene lagoon transitions into a mountaintop community where brightly colored teepees frame the Neverland tribe's harvest celebration. Here, Tiger Lily and her grandmother gracefully performs the traditional fancy shawl butterfly dance by the fire, capturing the vibrant spirit of the occasion. So before the scene was they were sitting down and just had drums and I don't know if they were chanting or anything, but now they have taken grandmother and Tiger Lily and they're like on like a rotating circle thing. It looks like they're dancing around. So they've changed some of the designs on the teepees and made it a little bit brighter, but yeah, it looks great.
I don't know enough about the Peter Pan movie to be able to say one way or the other. Like, I don't know. I don't know enough about it. So I figured they would change some stuff like that, but I don't know.
I mean, it's Yeah. I mean, there's no problem with it. It's just, it's
I mean,
fine.
I've heard some people not like it, but again, I don't know. So, I mean, for me, this is one of those times where I just go, I don't really have an opinion because I don't know. Like, I don't like Peter Pan, and I haven't seen that.
We know, Jared. He's the villain. We know.
Right. Well, that's not what I was going to discuss, but you're right in saying that. But I haven't seen that movie in so long. I don't know what scene was taken out to replace it with another one. So I will just say I don't know right now. If I find out later I don't like it, I'll let you guys know.
Great.
Or if I do like it, I'll let you know. I don't know.
Great. Glad to hear
but
it.
As of now, I have no opinion on the matter, but it is changed. So.
It has changed. I tried to do it during the Halloween party, and I ran out of time. So,
how dare you? All right, and the last bit of news we have is the Celebration Encanto show in EPCOT will continue past its original date of September 7th, and it could be until February 1st.
Yep. So, if you haven't caught it yet and you would like to catch that show, you got some time. They didn't give an actual date, but that's the rumor.
I imagine, November through February, it would be pretty nice to see that show.
I think it would.
But considering there's no cover there in the summertime, it is brutal.
Brutal.
But, yes. And the show, I will say, the show itself is actually an enjoyable show.
Yep.
Our kids liked it. It's not that enjoyable when you're just sitting baking in the sun. So I imagine maybe the people will like it a lot more in the fall. But...
yeah.
We shall see. But all right, well, that is going to do it for the news. But we do have poll time.
Poll time.
It's poll time. Tell us what you think. Every opinion counts. Come on and link. We're discussing it all. We're taking a stance. Poll time's the segment. Let's give it a chance.
Thank you. All right, for poll time this week, I asked the question, which of these opening day attractions would you feel super upset to find out that Disney was closing to make way for new attractions? And this was connected to us talking about Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. And everybody could choose as many as they wanted. So with 34%, number one was Haunted Mansion. People do not want to see that thing go. And I don't think it's going anywhere. Not for a long time.
Yeah.
15% said Jungle Cruise. 10% said the Walt Disney World Railroad. 11% said It's a Small World. And I'll just do the top 5. And the 9% said Peter Pan's Flight. Now, I did do a caveat. This actually opened 2 days later, but I still counted it as an opening day attraction. Everybody else got like 1, 2, 3, 4%.
Yeah.
So definitely Haunted Mansion. Definitely don't want to see that go. I know you would be okay with Small World just going bye-bye. I know that's your...
but even the thing opinion. Now, it's like if you were to tell me Small World stays, if like Rivers of America and Frontierland stays, I'm like, okay. Like if we're going to play... Like I think... I guess it's more or less of like all these things that did have direct ties to Walt. I do feel like should make room in the parks because as time goes along... I do think they're just going to try and move on from the Walt name at some point. And just like, even though he basically made the entire industry that is theme parks, I think eventually they're just going to lose. It'll just be name only sort of thing. But I will say, up until this, like, I don't think they're going to change Haunted Mansion, but there's a lot of things on this list that are not untouchable, like I think many people think they may be.
I don't know.
I could see Jungle Cruise being one.
I don't know.
At the very least, it gets massively changed. I mean, you're just at the point now where I think that there's not a lot of things that you would consider as untouchable now.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, we don't have a little camera into all their meetings, but I'm so confused about Swiss Family Treehouse.
In what way? Like,
first of all, nobody voted for it. So nobody would be sad if it goes. I know it's a small footprint in the park, but I'm just confused of why we still have it. I actually forget that we have it, to be honest.
I think because it is such a
small
footprint type of thing that it should. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you would replace it. Well,
that's
the
true.
Other issue too that sometimes people don't think about. This is very much like EPCOT with like wanting to put Coco in there. Mm-hmm. If you revamp a thing in that area, like if you look where that thing's at, that can't handle something that has like a lot of like demand.
I mean,
like big lines and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would, I mean, as it is.
And again, this goes back into theme parks. Like not every area of your park has to be an e-ticket attraction. Like it's okay to have.
It's fair.
areas of your park that are just more chill. And I think that, again, Swiss Family Treehouse, while, that IP or whatever you want to call it is not relevant today, but it's not a bad thing to have just simple spots in parks to just where kids can go relax. I talked about in a video I made on the YouTube channel about how I think it was the Cinnamon Blend or somebody wrote an article about how all these things for little kids are going away in the parks. Like we were talking about the play area under Splash Mountain, like all these little places where kids and families can take a beat and, but again, they're not money makers. They get overlooked. And I think again, this is what goes different into like a theme park versus an amusement park is taking those things into account for all of it. But yeah, I mean, in the most part, I agree though about your poll here. Haunted Mansion would be the number one. I would say they'll make changes to a lot of these things for sure.
Well, for sure. That's what wasn't my question though.
Oh, I know. I do think the Tiki Room's one. That one's been on the chopping block for a while now.
Yeah, it has. And it takes up pretty good space in Adventureland. So I don't know though, again, that's one of those attractions that Walt touched.
Yeah, but
it's actually called Walt Disney's.
But if you're going, I think that's the precedent now. It's like if you're going after Rivers of America in that area, I mean, the Tiki Room's not more, I mean, that's an entire land. You know what I mean? Like the Tiki Room is clearly on the table if that's the case.
Yeah.
So
anyway, well, thank you everybody for participating in the poll this week. It was interesting to see all these results, and I will have a new poll next week.
Yes, and if you want to be part of the next poll time, you can do that in a couple ways. You can join the Capture the Magic Facebook community, where Jamie posts them in there, and also over on Instagram at Cap the Magic, where she posts those in the stories over there as well. So you can check them out in both places.
Okay.
So, all right, well, let's move on to talking about Lightning Lane Multipass. So this is the first chance we've actually had to try it out. So we talked about it being implemented, and we were going to wait to talk about it until we actually tried it, something like that. So we did give it a go at Hollywood Studios on our trip this past weekend.
Yep. So we went on a Saturday, and we did the whole thing where you could, reserve the 3 Lightning Lanes in advance. And so that's what we did. And after a lot of modifying a lot, I ended up getting Slinky Dog Dash from 9 to 10. That was crazy, by the way. 10:40 to 11:40, we had Toy Story Mania. And then, let's see, it was 11:20 to 12:20, we had Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we had those 3 going into Hollywood Studios Day. We weren't getting any virtual queues or anything. We're just trying this multi-pass out. We didn't get any single pass as well, which is probably a good thing because Rise of the Resistance was down until like almost 11 a.m. that day. That's okay. Neither here nor there.
I mean, that ride kind of has a rep.
Yeah.
They did have somebody out on not a megaphone. She had a microphone saying it was closed.
We don't know when it'll be opening.
So basically they just keep people coming asking questions. So they're just like having this on loop of what they're saying. But
absolutely. So anyway, we decided to go to Hollywood Studios. We got there. It was right at opening, wasn't it? Wasn't it right at 9?
Yeah, we were there basically. Yeah, we were there like at park open.
Yeah, and there was no way we were getting there earlier because I had just done the Halloween party the night before, and I was exhausted, and I was like, I can't get up earlier. This is as early as it gonna get. So we didn't do any rope dropping, anything that we didn't have Lightning Lane for at that point. So we went ahead and used our Slinky Dog Dash. We scanned in. As soon as we scanned in, I went to see what else I could get. And they do have 2 places where you have to scan in at Slinky Dog Dash. One when you first walk in, and one right before they filter you off into the last line before they put you into your lanes. So I was able to get Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway for 11:20 to 12:20, which is the exact same time as I had Tower of Terror, which was weird. So they completely overlapped with two attractions.
And there was no warning about it either.
No, I mean they did say there are attractions happening at the same time, but they didn't not let me do it.
Right.
So, and I know some people have had issues with that. So I think it just depends. I don't know about that one. So anyway, completely overlapped. So we did Slinky Dog, and then we're like, well, we have a little bit of time before our next Lightning Lane, which was at Toy Story Mania. And I was trying to see if I could find anything earlier for that, but it was already like 9:30. I was like, I'm probably not going to find anything earlier than that for Toy Story Mania. So we went ahead and rode some stuff that didn't have lines. We decided to do Alien Swirling Saucers, which was like 5-minute wait.
Yeah, I'd say 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah.
I mean, we were over there. We're like, might as well just do it. And then
we were just doing it to try and see how many rides we could do.
Exactly.
Not because it's a great attraction.
Well, we did have fun.
I would not have rode it if it wasn't for you wanting to ride it.
Hey, but you have fun with me.
No,
right?
I know, but it's something we take the kids on.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. But it was right there. And I was just like, okay, let's just go ahead and do it and just mark it off our list kind of thing. So after that, I had Jared do Smuggler's Run. Now, I can't really ride Smuggler's Run because it makes me sick. But I was like, okay, well, you can do it. And he did the single rudder line. Did you wait at all?
I waited 5-ish minutes.
Oh,
it was
nothing.
pretty quick. But.
Okay. And we got there. The line was like 40 minutes, I want to say. So he rode that. And then we got some coffee. We got the cold brew at Cat Sacks. That's not right. How do you say it? What's it? Cat Sacca's Kettle?
I think it's Cat Sacca's Kettle.
Wow, I can't say it. Cat Sacca's Kettle.
There you go.
Thank you.
You did it.
So we got the cold brew with the Cocoa Puffs on the top and everything, which is good. But we do recommend getting extra cream. It makes it taste better if you do extra cream.
I mean, I like coffee more than you. I was okay with it, but extra cream's not bad. But
okay, well, I'm just saying.
I wish I actually would serve it without ice because the ice cubes are the same size as the Cocoa Puffs. So a lot of times when you think you're getting Cocoa Puffs, you're getting ice.
Yes, somebody in Instagram actually recommended don't get ice. It's cold enough. You don't need it.
Also,
don't get ice.
Yeah, ice you get more coffee if you don't get as much ice. So
that is true.
Yeah,
that is true. So after that, we got some coffee and everything. We walked by and then saw that Rise of the Resistance was still down, and this was about 9:50. Something like that. Like, again, we're doing these things like very quickly because the park was just opened.
Yeah.
And the lines were pretty short. So then we decided to do Star Tours.
We did go do Star Tours.
We did Star Tours. It was a 15-minute wait posted, and that's about as long as we waited.
That line moves very quick because the line was out to the AT-ATs outside, and it still was 15 minutes.
I think the Frozen show had just gotten out. Because
it had
a bunch of people.
All of a sudden, it went from wait to 15 out of nowhere. So I'm thinking that happened. Probably.
Yeah, and we saw a new scene with Ahsoka, which I hadn't seen before, so that was pretty cool. And then as soon as we were done, we ran to go watch Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular that started at 10:45.
Which is good. I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah,
but it's a good show.
It was great.
I still think. I mean, that one is I guess you would just call it the longest running one. It's been around. But I do think after seeing that the Bourne stunt show in Universal Studios is so much. Well, I shouldn't say so much. I think it's a better show for a stunt show.
Yeah.
But the concepts are different. This one's like you're watching a movie set sort of thing, even though the cameras are clearly fake. But
yeah. So at this point, we had done 5 attractions in about 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours, something like that. Mm-hmm. So we did quite a bit. And then, so after this time, it was about 11:15 when the show got out. And we looked, or actually Jared looked, and he saw that we had a multiple experiences pass because Mickey and Minnie's was down. Mm-hmm. So we're like, okay. So we decided to go ahead and do our Toy Story Mania multi-pass because, like I said, we had Toy Story Mania from 10:40 to 11:40, and it was only 11:15 at that time. So we're like, okay, we'll go use that. And then we had Tower of Terror at 11:20. So it was just now starting that time. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we went in and did Toy Story Mania. And we went in and scanned in. And as soon as we scanned in, I'm starting to look to see what else we can get. So I went ahead and grabbed a rock and roller coaster for $4.15. Now, each of us don't ride rock and roller coaster, but this is one of those things where I was trying to see what we could get. And I did eventually release this one and some other ones that we didn't get to use. But I just wanted to make sure that, this was something that we could do if we wanted to. So we got a $4.15 for rock and roller coaster as soon as we scanned in for that. And because we had multiple experiences for Mickey and Minnie's, we also had another allotment available. So we were able to hold 4 at one time because of that one.
Yes.
So I went ahead and got a Mickey and Minnie's because it came back up.
I did, yeah.
So I got a second one for Mickey and Minnie's. But we went ahead and rode Toy Story Mania. And then we rushed over to finish the Tower of Terror one, which I got right at the end. He did not ride that one with me. So we just let his expire, and then I was able to make new ones after that. And I think I got one for Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
which was just one of those where I was like, we don't really need it, but like we could do it because it's just a show, you know. And then right after that, we used our multiple experiences for Mickey and Minnie's because the other multi-pass I had made for that one wasn't until that evening at like 6. So it was just kind of like I was kind of almost stacking them for the nighttime at this point, if you will. So we did that. And then we decided to take a break at Baseline. And I have some bad news for y'all at Baseline. The hibiscus strawberry soda we used to get free refills on no longer offers that.
I wasn't surprised. I went up there because I was being nice to try and get you more. And then I waited in line too. And then they stopped doing it like a couple of months ago.
I was like, well, that is not fun. So anyway, it used to be a pretty big perk.
Although the pretzel still is the best pretzel in a theme park I've
good.
had there. It is very good.
It's so delicious. So at that point, we had done 8 rides, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we had to leave at this point. But we still had 3 lightning lanes left for the day. We had Rock and Roller Coaster. We were able to grab a Smuggler's Run. We did let the Beauty and the Beast one just expire because we didn't make it there. We ran out of time. And the Mickey and Minnie's that was later in the day. Yeah. I was able to modify, and I checked for a while, and I was able to modify the Rock and Roller Coaster to an earlier time to about like 2:55. But so I was able to do that. So if we wanted to stay later, we could have used it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we ended up doing 8 rides. We got 8 lightning lanes, and there's 3 or 4 we didn't get to use. Mm-hmm. So for a day where it wasn't that busy, we did pretty good for only being there for 5 hours.
That's what I was gonna say. It wasn't a busy day. Yeah. It was one of those park days where it's not that it was like empty, but it wasn't like slammed. So that's something to take into account. I was surprised we got as many ones as we've gotten, but I also am curious to see how the system works on a very busy day.
Come October, you guys, when it gets busy in the parks, that's going to be the real testament to how this works.
Yeah. And, having used it, it's basically how FastPass used to work. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's essentially that system. So
it's FastPass and Genie, the smushed together kind of.
Well, that's what we said they would eventually do. I do think after using it, I do think the system is more conducive to people that don't go a lot. It's a much easier system to grasp and to use in that way. So I think for the general public, the infrequent, park goers, I think it makes more sense to them. And again, I understand. Now, we were able to do quite a bit of things here, but I can imagine if you're used to Genie Plus, you can't stack. Yeah. Like if we were going to do what we've done at Hollywood Studios before, where we stack it for the evening because we're going to be there like later in the day, you can't do that on this system.
Right.
But, once you
you could, but only 3.
Right. I mean, yeah, in terms of what you used to be able to do. But, once you do scan that first one, you are able to mess with times, pick up different ones. And I think the one thing I would say is don't be afraid to modify.
That is true. Modifying is very good. And you can find some times that will pop up. The only thing with that is, again, the problem that people were having with Genie Plus is that you have to spend a lot of time on your phone.
Well, this doesn't solve that problem either. This does solve, I suppose, the problem of having to get up early every single day sort of situation for it specifically. Yeah. But I do think as a whole, it's still a system where to get the most out of it, you got to be on your phone a lot. And I do think that's a downside. I think the more that, you look at vacations and how people want a vacation, I think for a lot of people, they don't want to be stuck on their phones a lot. And unfortunately, Disney kind of forces you to if you want to get you know, well, I'm just going to call it fast pass, but
Yeah.
multi-pass lightning lane.
And, you know, something that, you know, actually playing with the system for this day is that, yeah, if you were staying off property and you only have the 3 days in advance to make your 3 selections, you may not get the times that you want. But again, because of the modify feature, you can sometimes modify to get something that you really do want earlier in the day. So like, for example, like if you're trying to go for Slinky Dog and you're 3 days out and you're making it for the last day of your or the day of your vacation, sorry, you may be only able to get like an 8 p.m. reservation.
Yeah.
But on the day, people switch around stuff all the time. They drop them. You know, don't be afraid to modify. But your best chance of getting the 3 that you want, the times you want, is staying on property and reserving it 7 days out. It just is. It just is.
Going forward, I am curious about I guess I would say the inventory side of things of whenever it is really busy.
Yeah.
People that aren't staying on property, how much are you able to get? Because again, you don't want a system to where I'm okay in theory of letting people who are staying on property have an advantage. I mean, it's part of their built-in marketing ploy.
Isn't that the perk?
Right.
Right.
But at the same time, it's the same thing of having, if you don't buy lightning lane, you also don't want the standby to be like, you know, 9 hours long, because you want people that are still in the parks to have a good time. So I feel like they'll figure out the balance there, hopefully, to where even if you're off property, you may not have the pick of the litter, but you're still able to get some stuff that you want, because, you know, that does make sense. But
yeah,
we'll have to see how now I'm sure whatever they adjust, they're not going to come out and really say too much.
Probably
but you know, sometimes they do implement like drops at certain times of the day. That was something that was pretty common with fast pass systems. So I think they'll probably do that on here as well. But all in all, I mean, sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, in Hollywood Studios is a hard one to do because it does have the tiers and there's only so many headliner attractions in that park.
Right.
So it is a difficult one. So like if there's one attraction that is just they don't have any available and like they all go earlier in the day, you're going to be SOL on that one unless you wait standby. And that's one of like a few. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's just a difficult park, which is kind of why we started with this one.
Yeah. So. I mean, all in all, I mean,
yep.
What do you think about the system? About what you expected? I mean, I don't really think it threw any curveballs.
No, didn't throw any curveballs.
I think it was I think it's a simpler system than Genie Plus.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on your look to this. I think if you're coming in thinking Genie Plus is too complicated, you'll like this more. If you were able to really mess with Genie Plus and get a lot of rides, you're probably not going to like this as much.
Yeah. I think it's the whole preparation in going like before your trip, knowing what you have, I think is obviously the biggest perk with this new system.
Right.
I know for me, like knowing that I'm going to be able to ride Slinky Dog at 9 o'clock, or at least, you know, if it doesn't go down, that I'm going to be able to ride it the beginning of the day because I have to pass for it. There's a lot of like comfort in that, at least for me.
Yeah, I mean, planners will like this much more.
I like plan. But again, if you like to modify and you're okay with modifying, there's also options for you with that. So there's a lot of good things. There's not, you know, some not so good things, but they at least seem like they're trying to make it a better system and make it to where, you know, not all the locals get all the lightning lanes, and everybody that's coming in for the first time or second time or whatever only get like 1 or 2. I think they're trying to like bridge that and have everybody kind of like spread out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I think that's
anyway.
Yeah, what they're doing.
I think it was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll try it again. Probably. I'm very curious on a busy day.
Yeah.
How that thing operates, but
yeah.
All right, and the last part of the show we have is Jamie did the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, so we're going to talk to her and see what she thought about it. And
her being me, that's me.
Who else is in the room with us?
Well, you're talking about me like I'm not here.
I
man.
said Jamie went, and then we're going to talk to her, meaning you. Yeah, I'm talking to the audience here.
Got you.
We're going to have a conversation with you.
All right.
To see if it's much different than years past. So that's what we're going to do here. So before we do that, what is Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party? In case you are not aware, this is a seasonal event that occurs at Magic Kingdom beginning August 9th, which is, of course, when you celebrate Halloween.
Of course.
All the way up till October 31st of this year. The party lasts from 7 p.m. till midnight, or you can enter the park as early as 4 p.m. if you do have a party ticket. Mm-hmm. It is going to be very busy at 4 p.m. to try and do that, but you can do that as well. Yes. And a lot of people use this as a modified day ticket as well.
Yeah.
Just you get it at 4, You got some time before the party, then you have the party and all that stuff.
Sure.
And then during the party, guests can trick or treat, wear costumes, meet unique and rare characters, watch special Halloween shows, enjoy themed treats and drinks, watch a parade, and experience the fireworks show and other things as well.
Much, much more.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk to Jamie about. Now, I did go for a bit. I didn't stay for the party, but I was there when we got there. So we got to the Magic Kingdom around like 4:45-ish.
Yes, we had a problem with our room when we went to check in. So I think we would have gotten in a little bit earlier had it not been for that. But we got to our room and it was not ready.
Well, we walked in. It said it was ready.
It
we
did,
walked
but
in the room
wasn't.
and there was a vacuum and a bunch of trash everywhere. And I was like,
This room is not clean.
So they changed our rooms for us, which
It was
delayed us.
All-Star Sports, by the way. Not that, but it was fine.
Super classy. But it's
Well, I told a joke with Jared. Last time we stayed at Disney, it was at Grand Floridian. And then this time we stayed at All-Star Sports, and we just went both ends of the spectrum there.
It's very true.
But
they had to change our room, which delayed us a little bit. It was in the same building at least, but that was something. But it does happen sometimes. But so we got there about 4:45, and so Jamie went through a special entrance because I didn't have a party ticket.
Yeah, he didn't have a party ticket, so he went through the day guest turnstiles or touch points, and I went through the party touch points. Got my little ribbon band thing, went through Market Street and got my candy bag. They did have a DJ there with a giant pumpkin like stand thing that was back there. That was cool. And of course, they have the golden characters and their costumes and everything. You can like statues you can take pictures with. And they had a Cruella. She wasn't out there, but her little perch was out there where I guess she's meeting guests later in the night.
Probably, yeah.
But she was not there. I didn't get to see her. She was there later, and I did get to just kind of see her from a distance, but she wasn't there when I went through, which is okay.
Okay.
So, but we wanted to eat some food before the party, and we chose to, go to places that have both, availability for the party and for during the day.
Yeah. So the first one we did was Casey's Corner, which we had talked about doing this on the show before. And we wanted to go here because they had a Chipotle barbecue pork and street corn hot dog. So it's an all beef hot dog with fire roasted corn, queso fresco, and cilantro. And then we got the extra long one because it was like $1 more.
We got a foot long one.
Yeah.
This is also available on fries or mini corn dogs. But because we had heard that they give you a lot of this Chipotle pork and cilantro and corn, all that stuff, they give you a lot of that. We decided to go ahead and just do the hot dog because they also give you fries with the hot dog.
And they just put it on the fries.
And so we just moved some of it onto the fries. What do you think?
So my concern going into this was like the pulled pork. It's like, it's Casey's Corner. They're not known for that. The pulled pork was actually pretty good.
It was good.
It was pretty solid.
It was.
The street corn, I liked the street corn. All of it together, though, it wasn't the best. Like, I liked the hot dog, but all of that combined, I can't say really was a good combo together. Individually, they're all very good, but together it just seemed off. But it was fine. I would have much rather preferred like a regular hot dog with mustard and ketchup, or like a chili dog versus this.
It's too fancy for Jared.
But
it's too fancy.
Well, it's not fancy. It just doesn't really work. But I will say the Chipotle stuff and everything like that was much better on the fries than it was on the hot dog.
Absolutely. Yeah. With the pull or the barbecue pork that's on there already, and you put it on the fries, you're getting some of that meat. You're getting some, the corn and the fry. I mean, like it feels more like it should be there. With that on the hot dog, it was good. It was a lot. It was just a lot. And I was like, okay, maybe next time I would just do the fries. So our recommendation is just don't do the hot dog or the mini dogs. Just do the fries and you'll be happy.
But again, the hot dog was good. I actually did like the hot dog.
But not with the topping.
Right. I guess it would also come down. There are some people that like hot dogs that are like, they have tons of stuff on them. I think there's like Chicago style hot dogs where it's got all sorts of things on them. So it probably depends. I just didn't think the flavors really were like complimentary. Yeah. It's like kind of like that. But
okay, fair enough. I loved it, but I loved it with the fries.
Oh, I ate everything.
It was gone.
Nothing was left behind.
Yeah.
And then we also went over to Aloha Isle
Aloha.
as they had a Dole Whip mango and chome float.
Is it chamoy?
Chamoy float. So this is Dole Whip, mango Dole Whip with pineapple juice, chamoy, and chili lime seasoning.
This is new. It was $7.49, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
This was weird. It was much. It was too much. It was a little weird. It was too much.
Yeah, I'm not a big mango fan. So personally, I think I would rather have regular Dole Whip than this. The lime seasoning was interesting. It wasn't that it was bad. It just was weird.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the combination. I love mango, anything really. It was the chili lime seasoning kind of mixed together with the mango, confused my tongue, I think.
I mean, I know what they're going for.
I know what they're going for.
But
right.
it just, in my opinion, again, I would much rather just have, maybe it's just my personality, I'd much rather have a more simplified option of just like a regular Dole Whip with the pineapple. Because basically what this is, like a Dole Whip float with like the pineapple juice and the Dole Whip. I think that's better than this.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I would get this again. It was just, again, it was one of those things where if you go for a Dole Whip, you're like, oh, I want something refreshing and sweet. This has a kick to it. And you may like that, you may not. If you don't want something that has that kick, I would not get this.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's more of like a acquired taste kind of thing. Like I just won't get it again.
Yeah.
Personally.
I would say, you probably have to like those specific things. But
for sure.
And then before I left, because I had to eventually leave, we did go do Country Bear Jamboree.
Country Bear musical.
Sorry, because
Jamboree.
they changed it. So we went and watched the new Country Bear show.
What'd you think, Jared?
So I have made it be known, like bears are terrifying monsters, and portraying bears in a light that seems friendly and like, oh shucks, I was like, it's bear propaganda. But I didn't like the first Country Bear Jamboree. So funny enough, my response, a lot of people are gonna think it's funny. I actually think this show was better because I never liked. I'm not a Country Bear Jamboree person. It wasn't my thing. So I think if you liked the original one, you would not care for this one as much because this one was much more. They did fix a lot of the animatronics.
Oh yeah.
They sang like more other Disney type songs, not all Country Bear stuff. So there's a much more. I think for a general audience, it's probably something more people can get into because they know the songs.
Yeah.
So I think it's much more of a taking something that was rather niche about what people liked about it and trying to make it more broad in terms of like more people would enjoy it.
That's fair.
So all in all, I mean, I still don't like singing bears. But I actually think this was a better show because it had more mass appeal and like some of the songs they sang, and it was kind of funny. So
it was cute.
It was, I mean, I'm still not a fan of the bears, but I think this show is better than the original.
Oh, the animals on the wall, like the talking heads, their eyes don't click anymore.
Essentially, you can't hear them blinking.
You can't hear them blinking.
The stuff of nightmares.
And it was, like you said, it was nice to hear the songs that we already know and just different like versions of it. So that was nice. This is not one of those shows, though, that I would go back and watch because I want to.
No.
I mean, I'm good for a while.
I'm good. I would have been good without seeing this, but I did. As we were watching it, I think Jamie said me hating, and I was like, it's probably a better show than. But again, I think if you were
it's better than what it was before, for sure.
I am curious about the people that were so big into it, if they liked this new show. I don't imagine they would.
There was that family in the back that they were just getting into it. Did you hear them? They were just hooting and hollering. Loving it.
I didn't hear the hooting and hollering.
They were like, woo, woohoo. Like, they loved it.
That was a great portrayal of hooting and hollering.
I had to show you.
It's kind of exactly what I thought it might be.
Thanks, Jared.
Thank you for bringing us along that journey. But yes, so I suppose check it out, but it's a better show, I think.
It's definitely improved, but still not my thing.
Agreed. Agreed. And then after this, I was forced to leave. I was escorted out. Not really.
Yes.
I just left on my own accord.
He left. But not before I changed into my costume because I was joining up with the rest of my group that I was with, which was Lauren and Kendall from Zip Travel. I went with them and their one of their children each.
The CTM team.
CTM team.
Zip Travel. Yeah. Well, this is one reason why I didn't go was there was actually a ticket I could have gotten, but like it was, you guys were all going, I would have been like a fifth wheel. And I'm like, I've been to the Halloween parties, and I was like, I'll just go do some work. So it was fine. But
No, this was fine. You would have been a sixth wheel, actually.
you know what would have happened?
I was the fifth
I would have
wheel.
ended up with the baby because I'm good with babies and babies like me. So I would have just been holding the baby, which I probably would have enjoyed. But because Lauren had her baby.
Lauren brought her brand new baby. Oh, he was delicious. So lovely. I loved him. Anyway, she brought him, and then Kendall brought her daughter, who was awesome. I love her. She's awesome. But anyway, we decided to go as the Rockford Peaches from League of Their Own.
Mm-hmm.
It
was a good costume.
Baseball team.
Yeah.
That was my idea because I always wanted to go do this as a costume forever. And I was like, oh, this is perfect because we all could get, the costumes weren't too hot. It was okay. It was friendly for this kind of event. And we found a baby costume, or like the Tom Hanks one where he's the coach. And that's what the baby was.
Makes sense.
It was so cute.
He drooled a lot in that movie. So baby drool, same thing.
But it was great. It was great. We got lots of compliments all night. A lot of, there's no crying in baseball yelled at us, which is great. Mostly Gen Xers and some boomers. Nobody in Gen Z really said anything. And I was like, I bet they've never seen it. Because this movie came out in 92? I don't know. It was a while. It was a long time ago. Anyway, so we got a lot of compliments, which was great. We loved it. So the first thing we did was we got in line to see Stitch. They call him Rock and Roll Stitch, I think, but it's Elvis. He's Elvis Stitch. And he meets over in Stitch's Great Escape area over there. And we have been told from multiple sources, that he starts meeting at 6:30. So you got to get in line around 6. I'm like, okay, great. So we all met over there. We were kind of dilly-dallying because there was no line yet. There's just people just kind of hanging around the area. And the cast member kept saying, hey, we're not, there's no line yet. He's not here yet. We're not setting up a line. So, me and our group and a couple other parties decided to make our own line, and we sure did. We made our own line because we were like, well, we want to see him, so we're just gonna make this line. But anyway, they filtered us into a line at about 6:30, but he still wasn't out. He didn't come out until almost 7, where he's supposed to scheduled to come out, I guess. Mm-hmm. But in the past, he's always been 6:30. So I don't know if he was just running late or this is the new normal, whatever it was. We ended up waiting for almost an hour, which was a lot. But we didn't miss any of the party stuff because the party started at 7.
Right.
So by the time we met him, it was 7:02 or something. Okay. And so the party started, and we're like, okay, first meet and greet done, on our way. And this is when we decided to do a lot of trick-or-treating. So we hit Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. They have a trick-or-treating station there. We hit Carousel Progress. We hit underneath Tron. They have one where you go under the walkway. We hit Storybook Circus train station and Mickey's PhilharMagic within the first hour-ish. We also tried some treats over at Friar's Nook, and I got the spicy pork spring roll with charred pineapple and scallion dust, and that's only available during the party. And I also got the s'mores cup, which is layers of graham cracker, crumbles, chocolate ganache, chocolate popping candies, milk, chocolate panna cotta, and marshmallow cream. That's also new and available during the party and regular park hours. The spring roll was, I would give it about a 5 out of 10. It had hardly any flavor. It was weird. I didn't really taste much. It's hard to explain. It was a little spicy, but I didn't really taste much of anything in there, which was kind of disappointing. So anyway, I would not recommend getting this. I would pass on the spicy pork spring roll. Just go to get cheeseburger rolls. Am I right?
That is your go-to.
Just saying. The s'mores cup was fine. I think we ended up finishing it, but it was just, it was sweet, and the marshmallow cream, little ghosts on the top, and it was cute.
Yeah.
Now, problem with this one, and I don't know if you'll have a problem if you go to a party later, but this did not appear on the app. The s'mores cup didn't. I had to order that in person. Now, everything else was on the app. All the special party treats were on the app. This one specifically was not. So it took me a long time to wait in line to get this s'mores cup. Just FYI. The other ladies had the bowl of bones, which is the picky wings fried with fresh jalapenos and tossed in Coca-Cola cherry barbecue sauce. I've had this before. It is spicy and it's pretty good. It's available only during the party. And then they also have a buffalo chicken hand pie, which I had last year. And it's buffalo chicken and mozzarella wrapped in a flaky dough and topped with blue cheese crumbles and buffalo ranch. Again, only available during the party. And this is one of those, if you really have to kind of like buffalo chicken or buffalo sauce to like this one. I mean, it's a lot of blue cheese in this one, a lot of buffalo.
See, I don't like blue cheese or buffalo sauce, really.
Yeah,
so that combo,
you would have hated this.
I never have been a big fan of,
But if you like that, you'll like this. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, it's just, it was good. It was good for that. So, and then we went over to Golden Outpost. Sorry, I always say this. Golden Oak Outpost. And there are 2 new dishes over there. One was the chocolate caramel tart. And that's a chocolate tart shell filled with chocolate ganache, caramel sauce, and caramel cream, topped with Twix cookie bar pieces and a chocolate piece. This is only available during the party, and it is new. This was delicious. This one was a 8.5 out of 10. I would get this again. It was very rich, so please share this. But it was so good. I like Twix. I like caramel. It was a hit for me. Like, no complaints, no notes. Just the fact that it's really rich.
Okay.
And then we also got the sweet and spicy beignets. It's your berry and cayenne dusted beignets with chicory coffee chocolate sauce. And these are new, available during the party only.
Was it good?
It tasted like, no.
That does not sound like an appealing combo.
It wasn't for me. After having that Dole Whip thing with the chili lime seasoning and the mango together.
Right.
This is another version of that where it was like sweet berry with like, like cayenne and the coffee mixed together. It was not for me. It was not for me. I didn't like it at all. I had like 2 bites and I was like, y'all can have the rest of this.
Yeah.
Done. But somebody else got the regular beignets. I'm like, this is what I need.
See, you just
get the regular ones.
Keep it simple. Yeah.
But if you do like a mixture of those kind of flavors, again, this would be for you. But for me, I would not get this again. Berry, cayenne, and coffee and chocolate. Chocolate sauce had to be dipped a lot.
That seems like quite the combo.
We had to dip a lot of that into that chocolate sauce. Then we saw the Dapper Dans and the Hitchhiking Ghosts, which those appear across the walkway thing above Country Bears in like Frontierland over there. Yeah. And the Hitchhiking Ghosts were great. This is new this year. Their costumes kind of glowed like blue and iridescent. It was kind of cool effect. And then we got a magic shot of the Hitchhiking Ghosts in one picture, and then the Headless Horseman in another in Liberty Square. And those were pretty quick. Not have to wait for long for that. Then we checked out the merchandise. We got a party pass holder shirt, which I took a picture of. And then they have a lot of event exclusive merchandise like Hocus Pocus stuff. They've got a spirit jersey, glow in the dark shirts, a lug bag this year, mouse ears, ornament, pins, mugs, shot glasses, etc. But I got a pass holder shirt. That's what I got.
I saw that.
Yes, you did. Yeah. Then we watched Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular, which is the fireworks show. And again, this starts at 10, only showing they do for the party.
Was it the same show they've had the previous years?
Same show as previous years.
It's a good show.
It's a great show. Jack Skellington puppet comes out and dances and speaks as the show goes on. And we were pretty far back, so we couldn't see him super well, but well enough to still enjoy the show.
Yeah.
So we were about... we were standing in front of the confectionery about that far back.
Oh, okay.
So we were pretty far back on Main Street.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was still a great show. Love it. Favorite part is with the skeletons dance and all that stuff. Highly recommend that one. And then we met Mickey Mouse right after that because he had a new costume this year. It was like a magician spider thing.
Mickey.
Yeah. And when we went, it was only a 5-minute wait because everybody was watching the fireworks.
Yeah.
And we were close down Main Street. We're like, let's go. So we're running. She's running with the baby. Poor thing. He had a blowout. on the way there. So we had to stop a little bit, and she was like, trying to change them as quickly as she can. Cause it's like, the 5-minute wait, it's getting longer. People are coming.
Right.
So she was so good. She was trying to do as fast as she can, but, and Mickey looked great.
I gotta let this thing.
And Mickey looked great in his suit. So of course that was great to see him. And by the time we got back there too, by the way, Jack and Sally were only a 20-minute wait. So if you want to meet Jack and Sally, and you don't care about seeing like the end of the fireworks, go then.
Yeah.
Like for real.
I've heard people say that before too, but that's not probably a bad idea.
When we first got there, it was a 100-minute wait at like 4:45.
Jeez.
It was crazy. So then I got Jared some coffee. You think Jared wasn't with you? No, he was not. But he texted me and said, "Can you get me some coffee from Starbucks?"
No.
And I go, sure.
I said, if it's not going to impose too much on you, if you could bring me back some, I would appreciate it, but you don't have to.
Well, do you want to explain your trick in case people don't know?
I've talked about it before, but basically I like a pumpkin. I do like pumpkin cream cold brews, but I like cold brews with like the foam stuff. So instead of like in the mornings, you got to like wait till you're in the park and there's a huge line. If you're in the parks late, you just get so this one was a caramel cream cold brew. Get it without ice, and then the cream on the side, and then you take it back in your hotel room, put it in the fridge, and you wake up in the morning, you still have the foam, and you just have your coffee first thing in the morning.
Yeah. And I had to get this at about 10:45 because we were going to watch the parade next, and after the parade, the park closes. So I was like, well, I got to get it now. So I had a coffee in this little coffee carrier thing from about then until I got back to the room, holding it on the bus, holding it during the fireworks or during the parade. Holding it amazing.
Thank you for.
I was like,
thank you for doing that.
No. So I got that, and I did some magic shots on my own on Main Street, right on the way to get some coffee. It was a dancing skeleton one. There was a Huey, Dewey, and Louie one, and another one I can't remember what it was, but did some magic shots there. Then we watched the parade, the Boo to You parade. No changes this year.
I was gonna
from last year.
Whatever that any changes. Okay.
No changes. But again, one of my favorite parades. It's not my favorite, but it's one of my favorite parades. It's always enjoyable. Best thing ever is the shovels, the Haunted Mansion graveyard crew or whatever, dragging the shovels. Best thing ever. And FYI, Powerline Max is back this year, dancing with his crew and everything, but only on Main Street. He does not come into Town Square. We were in Town Square, and last year he did, and he didn't come this time. So that was something we noticed. So it was midnight once the party ended, and we just left. I got back to the room about 12:45 with my coffee in the carrier.
Thank you again.
I was like, I literally was
feel
about to
bad.
drop it like so many times.
I thought you could just got it before you left. I'm sorry.
I couldn't. Like I was
you're a good wife.
That.
I won't bother you with it next time.
No,
Thank
it's
you,
fine. You asked me, and I did it.
You did, and I appreciate it.
Some things I did not do because I did do a lot at this party, but I wasn't going to get to everything, and that is okay. I didn't do Hocus Pocus Villain Spelltacular. That's the Hocus Pocus show they do a couple times a night. I have seen this show. It is the same every year. I enjoy it immensely, but I just did not have time this year. It's just a whole bunch of, it's like Dr. Facilier.
You have to pick and choose what you want to do with these parties.
Absolutely.
You can't do everything.
Absolutely. This one plays like 3 times a night right now, and then they add another showing later in the Halloween season. But yeah, it's great. They're, casting a spell on everybody in Magic Kingdom, and Dr. Facilier and Oogie Boogie and Maleficent all come to help, and yeah, it's great. It's fun. I love it. Disney Junior Jam at Cosmic Rays. Didn't go by there. Done that. Been there. Don't need to do it again. Love my kids, but that's what they love to do.
That's true.
Rusty Cutlass, the Pirate Band in Adventureland. Didn't get to see that one, but we saw them last year. The attraction overlays, we did not do Space Mountain in the dark because I just can't ride Space Mountain. Sorry. Mad Tea Party, can't ride that one either. Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, we did walk through when we got our treats, but we didn't stop. But it's just kind of a version of like the attraction. Yeah. Just in a different version. But I wanted to try some more food and drinks at Sleepy Hollow. I wanted to stop there if I could. Didn't get to do that, but that's okay. You can also book dining reservations at Cinderella's Royal Table, Be Our Guest, or the Plaza during the party. I don't recommend doing this because that's a big chunk of time you're using for a dining reservation when you can do that at a different time.
It's true.
Than the party. So I don't recommend doing this. Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular Dessert Party. You can either do Tomorrowland Terrace or Plaza Garden Viewing area. Again, it's a party within a party. It's an inception party, as you like to say. You can do this, but there's enough going on and there's enough food you can try. And really, you can get a good spot for the fireworks without having to do this. So again, this is not something that I would recommend unless it's just something you just have to try. You don't have to do it. Like it's not a must.
Right.
And then meeting and seeing some of the villains. So I didn't get to see Cruella in Market Street. I didn't get to see Gaston by his tavern. Lady Tremaine usually meets by Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Anastasia and Drizella were near Pinocchio Village House.
Hoose,
sorry. And then Maleficent and Evil Queen, they're actually in Princess Fairy Tale Hall, and I heard that they were amazing and didn't get to do them as well. Almost did, but didn't get to. Sometimes these villains like move around, so this is what it was the night we went. And then other characters you can meet Jack and Sally, Maribel and Bruno, Aladdin and his friends, Moana, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and Goofy. They had a wait of like 75 minutes all night.
I can see that.
I wanted to meet them, didn't have time. Pooh and Friends, Captain Jack, Ariel and Prince Eric, Belle, Alice and Mad Hatter, and Queen of Hearts, and Tweedledee and Dum. Seven Dwarfs are not there this year. They are not meeting at this party.
Okay.
That was a disappointment.
I wonder why.
I don't know. They've met at the party for years. And just this year, they just decided not to do it. I don't know.
Interesting.
But if you're going to meet some Dwarfs, you will have to do a different event, I guess, than this. But anyway, so that's all I didn't get to do. I already talked about what we did do. I did have a really good time.
Well, I was going to ask you, what compared to years past, was it about the same or different?
Yeah, it was about the same. The only thing that was different this year was some of the food and drinks I tried.
Right. But it's essentially the same party.
But it's the same party. I mean, if you love the same party and you love the dressing up in costumes and you loved, trick or treating and stuff, like do the party. It's fun. If you're going to experience something brand new, I mean, then maybe not.
Well, and that's always been said about the party. It's consistent in that way. So it is good for the fact of like, if you haven't done it before, it's easy to recommend and say, it's a good party to do. If you've done it before, and I guess you could answer this, like the repeatability of it.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I guess on some of you can't do everything.
Right.
So you got to pick and choose. So you could pick and choose other things. But it always is pretty consistently the same party. So for that way, repeatability may not always be there. But
yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things where if you want to use this as a park day in lieu of like a day on your ticket, you could do that as well.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And you can spend even less than you would on a park day. If you were just doing like one day at Disney and be like, hey, just do the party and you know what I mean?
I think that's something that makes a lot of sense to do.
Absolutely. But yeah, I had a ton of fun and everybody was so fun in our little group and it was great.
Well, good.
I'm glad I did it.
I'm glad you had fun.
I'm sorry you didn't get to do it this year, but
it's okay.
That's okay.
I got some things done and it was fine. I chilled out by the pool. And it was actually, the weather was actually really nice. So I was just kind of.
By the way, it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't super bad. It was hot for like 15 minutes.
Once the sun went down.
7 o'clock.
Yeah. I mean, it was a tad bit humid, but it wasn't bad. So I just had the laptop by the pool and just kind of hung out and had a couple of drinks. And I had my own party.
Yes. Oh, by the way, people always ask, did it feel really busy? Not as bad as years past.
Okay.
It really didn't. It didn't feel as packed as it has in the past. Now, people were, riding the rides and doing all the party stuff. Maybe they just have figured out a better way to, spread out the crowds. And Tiana's was open for the party on standby. There was no virtual queue for her. There was no, lighting lane. Mm-hmm. So there are some people in line for that because that line got to 55 minutes on the night. So I can tell you, like, some people were using party time to go ride that.
Well, I think that's the thing is finding that balance where there's enough stuff to do to where it doesn't feel super packed. We've been to parties in years past where it's seemingly that they oversold it.
Right, but what I'm saying is because Tiana's is new and this is like a new situation, I feel like maybe some people where they would have been other places
they went to
years
the ride.
past, they went to ride Tiana's.
That makes sense.
Same thing with Tron. It was a standby now. There's no virtual queue during the party for that one either. So that's also something to consider.
That probably helps a lot.
Yeah.
So, in terms of crowds. Okay.
Yeah,
Anything else you want to add about the party?
I don't think so. Just had a great time, and I'm sure maybe do it next year. Hopefully, new stuff happens next year.
Yeah. Now we will be doing, and I will be going as well. We'll do the Christmas party. We're gonna go.
Yay.
We're gonna take everybody this year to do the Christmas party. So
that I'm very much looking forward to.
We were talking about this. I was like, you do the Halloween party. I'll do the I like the Christmas party better, anyways.
Yeah.
And having done the Halloween party, I mean, did I go I went last year. Did I go last year?
I don't. Did we go last?
I don't know. I've been a bunch of times, and it doesn't. It's a good party. It doesn't change a lot. So I was just like, you go do it, and I'll just do other stuff. So
yeah.
But So thank you for sharing your experience.
Thank you. I tried my best. I don't know if I spoke too fast, but I was like, I have a lot to say.
It sounded as normal as it has on the past 500 some odd episodes.
Great.
So
perfect.
I think you've got the cadence nailed down.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the show.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff on this show.
Yeah.
So hopefully you enjoyed it. Much discussion.
It was a meaty episode.
It was a meaty episode. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's going to do it for this. So again, be sure to check us out on social media at Cap the Magic everywhere except for TikTok, which we are at Capture the Magic there. And obviously on YouTube, if you want to catch video versions of the show and show clips, at CTM Podcast, and you want to check out the main YouTube channel at Cap the Magic. I do daily videos over there on various topics, and we're marching to 10,000 subs over there. So we're getting there.
March.
If you want to go check those out, you can do that. We also have other shows on the network here. We have the Capture the Magic Universal show where we talk about Universal Studios. We will have an episode next week where we're going to talk about eating at Mythos.
Yeah.
And it would just be mostly Mythos. That's the new. Well, we'll talk about a little bit.
There's some news. There's some news you need to talk about too.
That's true.
Yep.
We'll do some news as well, and we'll talk about that. And then Jamie has her. And sorry, that show is twice a month, and once Epic Universe opens, that will go to a weekly show, or at least maybe when it gets close to opening. And then Jamie also has Trip Tales, which is her trip report show. And you just had an episode come out on last week, right?
Yes. So it'll probably, based on scheduling and being able to record, it looks like it's going to be moved into Labor Day. So the 2nd, I think.
Okay.
3rd, whatever that Monday is. That episode will be out. So.
Okay. We'll be on the lookout for that and that. But that's going to do it for the show. So thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
We will see you in the parks.
bye.